When your kids like something that you cooked, you want to share it with the world. My Cajun chicken and shrimp pasta is one of those dishes, and I'm going to share it with you today. Hi, I'm Tara the Foodie, and I take the mystery out of cooking for you. I think for a lot of us that are cooking for our families, our daily struggle or our daily challenge is to figure out what we're going to cook for dinner, right? And I had one of those nights recently, and I looked around to see what I had in the pantry and the refrigerator and figured I would make a pasta. I like to put some kind of protein in my pasta. I saw that I had chicken, I saw that I had shrimp, and I thought, well, you know what? A lot of restaurants have something on the menu that's like a Cajun chicken pasta or a Cajun shrimp pasta or something like that, where it's pasta with a protein in it. It's a Cajun-y kind of creamy sauce, and it's always a really popular menu item. So I thought, that sounds good. I like spicy food. I like the Cajun flavor. I like a sauce that's a bit creamy. One night I put this together, just making it up as I went. The kids loved it. Especially our oldest Franco. He really, really loved it. And again, I've said this before, he's probably our toughest one to please. Every year I make a point to make a birthday dinner for each of the boys. And for Franco's most recent birthday dinner, he requested this pasta dish, my Cajun chicken and shrimp pasta. He loved it so much, he wanted me to make a big, huge batch of it for him and his friends for his birthday dinner. So that, to me, said, you know what? I'm going to need to share this video with my viewers because it's a total hit with our family, and I think it'll be a hit with yours too. All right, so to make this delicious and crowd-pleasing Cajun chicken and shrimp pasta, well, you need chicken. I have here a little over a pound of chicken breast, and I have just cut it into bite-sized pieces. And you want some shrimp. This recipe calls for about a pound of shrimp. We really like shrimp, and when I am opening a bag of shrimp to clean and devein, I usually just do the whole bag. So we are just going to go ahead and put all of this into our pasta. You want to grab a Cajun seasoning of your choice. You could grab just a good old jar of Old Bay, because that's kind of a Cajun seasoning. You could grab any other kind of, Cajun seasoning, as long as the seasoning says Cajun seasoning on it. What you want to do is put about 3 tablespoons of Cajun seasoning just in a dish that you can grab from. This recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of Cajun seasoning throughout the recipe. At this point, we want to season our chicken and our shrimp. I'm going to take a tablespoon of Cajun seasoning and sprinkle it all over the shrimp, and then take the chicken, get another tablespoon. I know. I was sneezing earlier. You will sneeze. Oh, God. Look, I don't know what is in this shit. Red pepper. Red pepper is the second ingredient, salt and red pepper. It is salty. Chili powder is in this, garlic. Anyway, don't breathe in too much when you're right close to it, or even in the vicinity, apparently, because
you've been warned.
You've been warned.
You've been warned.
So take your next tablespoon of Cajun seasoning, sprinkle it over top your chicken. Now I'm just going to stir this seasoning into the chicken, and then we're going to do the same with the shrimp. Stir the seasoning into the shrimp. So now I have my proteins all seasoned up with Cajun seasoning. Let's go over to the stove, and we're going to go ahead and cook these up. First thing you want to do is go ahead and get your pasta going. And I've got my water boiling over here now. I'm just going to go ahead and salt it. It's very important to always salt your water when you are cooking pasta so that the pasta has a bit of flavor already just from the salted water. And then you want to grab a pound of your pasta of choice. You really can use whatever you want. I chose this rotini because you can see what this pasta looks like. And that's the sauce that I'm about to show you how to make is going to just live in all of those grooves in this pasta. So I like to pick a pasta like a corkscrew or this rotini that's really going to hold on to all of that good creamy sauce. Immediately stir the pasta so it doesn't stick. And keep in mind too, we are going to reserve a ladleful of the pasta water before we drain the pasta. I'm going to try to remember that myself. So I'm telling you now so that you can remind me when you're watching this video, when the time comes that I drain the pasta, you have to yell at the screen, don't forget to get the ladle of pasta water. So don't forget, maybe comment it down below, just get the pasta water, and I will hear you, and then you will help me. So, okay. I have this pan over here pretty much on high, so I'm gonna put it on medium now. I was heating this sucker up. Just grab yourself some olive oil or extra virgin, whatever you have on hand, and we're just going to add about a tablespoon to the pan, and then go ahead and add your chicken to the pan and stir it up. So the first minute that you put your chicken into the pan, into the hot pan, it's going to initially kind of stick, and that's why you want to really stir it continuously for that first minute. This allows the oil to coat all over all of the pieces of chicken and to help it not stick so much. So this will only take a few minutes, maybe 5-6 minutes or so to cook your chicken. Once the chicken is done, I'm going to remove it from the pan, and then I'm going to add the shrimp. So it's been about 8 minutes since I put the pasta in the water. Check your pasta, just grab a piece and eat it. Just make sure that it's tender, al dente, which is basically it's tender, but it has just a little bit of a chew to it. That's good. It's time to drain it. I'm going to take it over to the sink and, ooh, thank you for reminding me. I almost forgot. So those of you that screamed at your TV or at your phone, thank you. I appreciate you. So I'm going to grab a ladle. From this nonsense over here, I don't know how to begin to explain to you what's going on over here. This is Juicy Joe's just creation that just appears in our kitchen every morning. So, all right, so take your Nessie ladle. If you don't have a Nessie ladle, I will link her here now, because, I mean, everybody needs a Nessie ladle. And just get a ladleful of the pasta water, put it into some sort of bowl. You may not even use it all or use it at all, but we're gonna get it just in case. And let's drain this pasta. I'm gonna pour it back into the hot pot. Bring it back over here, and I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of oil onto it so that the pasta doesn't stick together too much. And stir so it coats the pasta. And now we are going to remove this chicken. I took the container that I had the raw chicken in and I washed it with soapy water so that we could just reuse this container. So as you can see, when I'm removing this chicken from the pan, you see the flavor that is on the bottom of this pan. So we're gonna put this to the side, and I had the pan on low while I was waiting to remove the chicken. So I'm turning it back up to medium high because I want the pan nice and hot so that I can quickly cook the shrimp in this same pan. Grabbing my olive oil again, I'm gonna add another tablespoon to my pan, right on top of all this goodness. And now I'm going to add this shrimp to the pan and saute it until it turns pink and it's firm. It will literally only take a few minutes. No, what are you doing over there? Are you eating chicken?
Cameraman snack.
Take your clean bowl and just scoop your shrimp right into the bowl. I like to get my ingredients ready, as you should when you're cooking. Getting all your ingredients ready ahead of time before you go to put your recipe together is a really good idea. So I am prepping my garlic now with my beloved garlic press that I always use. I will link one here now. so that you can grab one if you don't already use one, because mincing garlic is bullshit. And this makes it so that you never have to peel paper off of a piece of garlic. You never have to mince it. You just stick it in there and shove it through, and you're good to go.
We interrupt this program for an on-the-spot news report.
This is a message now for our viewers. I don't know if you saw over on that wall over there, but I'm kind of a big deal now. I've been in the newspaper. I was just featured recently in a local paper. Yeah, right there, framed on our wall because we are so proud of it. You know, it's one of those local papers that are free, that you can pick up at a salon that you're at, or a yoga studio, or a restaurant, and it just lets you know what's going on within your community. And I wanted everybody to know that I'm here, that, you know, you have a local gal that's on YouTube that is working hard to build her channel. So I was very honored to be in Mimi Magazine, and I think it's also called Cleveland Shoreline, depending on where it is distributed within the Northeast Ohio area. Now you know where I'm at. Very, very proud of where we've come from and where we're at right now, and we continue to grow, and it's thanks to all of you. So thank you all so much for watching every week and for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. It's totally free, and it truly helps this channel so much grow and grow, so that we can get in front of more eyeballs, so that more of you can watch all of these fun videos. And click that notification bell down there too. That makes sure that you are notified every time I upload a new video. We've got our pan here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat back on. So you want it just like medium heat. You might even turn it down to medium low. You're gonna kind of watch it. You don't want it to get too hot. We're trying to gently build this sauce. So into this pan, you want to put a half a stick of butter, or 4 tablespoons, or a 1/4 cup. So go ahead and plop that in there. I'm just gonna start picking up that glorious fond at the bottom of the pan. If you wanted to actually know what all the stuff is that is stuck to the bottom of your pan, it's called fond. You just kind of move the butter around the pan, just moistening the fond on the bottom of the pan. And so now I'm going to add 3 cloves of minced garlic, or ran through your garlic press if you went ahead and grabbed one of those. Spread it out a little bit with whatever spoon you have on hand, and you're waiting for it to become fragrant, which is going to be pretty immediately. Oh, and there it is. Just hit my nose. Ooh, yeah. Gives me goosebumps. Now you want to add a half a cup of diced bell pepper, and go ahead and stir that in. Also, when you put bell pepper into a pan like this, it's gonna immediately start to release some of its like water within the pepper. And you'll see that as that happens, I'm starting to be able to kind of get the fond off of the bottom of the pan, kind of scraping it with my spoon. That brings up that flavor. It prevents it from burning, that kind of thing. Moving right along, because this is kind of like, at this point, it's kind of like making a gravy. So now we've got our butter, garlic, peppers. Now we're gonna add, because we used a 1/4 cup of butter, we're gonna use a 1/4 cup of flour. You're always doing same amount when you're doing your fat and your flour, when you're making like a sauce or a kind of gravy. And now I'm gonna change to a whisk, and I'm going to just slowly start to whisk this flour into the different ingredients. Into the butter is the most important, because it's going to start forming what is called a roux. And it's like a paste, kind of a sandy paste. And this is where you kind of check your heat. You don't want it to be too hot. It's definitely still on medium. It could even be kind of a medium low. And we're just letting this flour cook for 30 seconds to a minute so that it doesn't taste floury, like it doesn't taste like raw flour. I'm turning it back up to medium, and now I'm going to deglaze, which is really pulling up the rest of the flavoring off the bottom of the pan where it's still stuck with a liquid. Okay, so I have grabbed my 2 cups of chicken stock. I'm gonna be adding this very slowly as I whisk. It's gonna make a lot of noise, so I'm not gonna talk, but you will see what I mean. Now I'm gonna turn it up to like medium high because I've gotten enough liquid in there where I want the heat to start to rise. And you'll see as you whisk, it thickens and keeps thickening. Then add a little more of your liquid, stir it all around so it gets nice and incorporated, just like making a gravy. If you're familiar with making a gravy, you're gonna feel like you're making gravy right now. So just do that until you run out of your chicken stock. You'll see I made the chicken stock using bouillon. Just get that all in there as well if you've got any sitting on the bottom. So we are letting the heat kind of come up, and you'll see there's already little bubbles forming. So we're doing good. We're doing good with our heat level. I've got it medium high right now. I'm gonna turn it just to medium. And we're gonna let that bubble for just about a minute. Okay, so the gravy, or the beginning of the sauce, has been bubbling for about a minute. And now is the time that you're gonna go ahead and add that last tablespoon of your Cajun seasoning. So just kind of scatter that into your sauce. Whisk that in. Next, you wanna add your 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Whisking the entire time. It's going to start turning a wonderful color. And again, scraping the bottom of the pan with your whisk. This is an added. This is 1/2 cup of sour cream, and it's going to add even more creaminess, but also some tang. It adds that little something extra. Turn it down to low at this point because we're hot enough. We are hot enough. And you can see it's just even more creamy. Still has a nice thickness to it. It doesn't need to be super thick. The reason I'm telling you that is because we do have that pasta water. If I thought that at this point the sauce was a little too thick, sometimes that happens if you leave your heat up a little too high for too long. Maybe you walked away, you came back, some of it reduced, and it just seems too thick. It's up to you if you want to add a little bit of that pasta water. The starch from the pasta water will help you to thicken it more, but also the water part will thin it out for you. It's kind of like adding more cream without adding more cream. But I like the consistency, so I'm not going to add the pasta water. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off now because we're done with the sauce. Now we're going to take our container, 5-ounce container of grated Parmesan cheese, and dump it all in there. Just dump it in.
All of it?
Unabashedly.
Unabashed.
Just
Unabashedly.
dump it in.
That's
just
a lot of
crazy.
That's a lot of Parmesan.
I know. So you melt it in. It just disintegrates in there. That's going to thicken it up a little bit. So you could assess after that if you think you need the pasta water. I'm going to taste this because I want to know the level of the Cajun seasoning. Okay. It's good. It's got a nice saltiness to it, but not too much. Now we're going to add our chicken just right to this sauce. You want a shrimp, honey, before I put it in there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'll have one too.
Cheers, baby.
Cheers. Add all of the shrimp to your sauce, and you see some juice. You want that juice. Get it in there. Now I'm gonna take my spoon and just stir this chicken and shrimp into this sauce, this gloriousness, just coating it. Give your pasta a little stir so that it's loose and start adding it to your pan. You can add it a little at a time as you stir it in to make your life easy, as I'm going to, just to make sure that I can incorporate it all. And you might find that you don't want to add all the pasta, honestly, which is fine. Even at this point, if you decided you wanted to thin it out a little bit with some water, you could use the pasta water at this point. I'm still happy with the consistency. The only thing left to do is grab some fresh parsley that you've chopped up earlier so that it was all ready to go for this very moment. And you're just gonna sprinkle it over top because it adds some beautiful color and some herbiness and freshness to the flavor of your pasta. And I'm gonna keep a little extra for when I plate this for the final part of this video where we get to taste it. And this is my Cajun chicken and shrimp pasta. Ooh, oh my gosh. It's glistening with sauce, just clinging to every nook and cranny of those pieces of pasta, the rotini, and then just pour it in a nice big platter and top it with a little bit more fresh parsley, and you can see that it is just a lovely presentation. This is something awesome to make for any night's dinner. It can be through the week or whatnot. For me, as long as I can do it in an hour or less, I'll make it through the week. So.
And that's a family portion meal too.
This is a family portion meal, at least. You know, you might have leftovers. Depends on how hungry those boys are, or girls. So, it is now my favorite time of every episode, time to taste. And I am diving right in, just, you know, like it's my bowl of pasta. I will just get a chair and just pull it up to this. So I am going to, of course, take the biggest bite ever. I'm gonna get a piece of chicken and shrimp and a piece of pasta and just go for it.
To die for, baby. To die for.
It's time for the flavor breakdown. That is so full of flavor, bursting with flavor. So cheesy, so creamy. The shrimp is cooked perfectly. You bite into it and it's got that snap to it, but it's tender, no chewiness, not at all. That's why you take it out right when it turns pink. The chicken is very tender because you cooked it on a high heat, so it cooks fast, keeps all of its juices intact. It's quite simple, actually, of a recipe. You're seasoning the whole thing with one seasoning, Cajun seasoning, and then you're garnishing with fresh parsley. Other than that, it's just a bit of a process to put everything together, and you have a delicious, beautiful meal to serve to your family, or just to pull up your chair to yourself. Because you know what? If that's what you want to do, and you're single, then do it, you know? Make this for yourself. If you're all by yourself right now, make this for yourself, you know, and freeze half of it, or, you know, bless your friends with some of it, or eat it 3 times this week and for lunch, whatever. Do not cook for yourself because you're living at home alone, okay? I'm just, you know, I was there. So make this immediately. It's delicious. You will love it. Again, share this with your friends as well. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. Share this with your friends. Spread the word of Tara the Foodie. We love having fun in the kitchen and showing you how to cook. I'm helping to take the mystery out of cooking for you so that you cook more and you get to enjoy food just as much as I do and have fun in your kitchen as well. I'm Tara the Foodie, taking the mystery out of cooking for you, and I will see you next time.